Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Rules Horror. Story 1. Dream Diary 1A. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. As you closed your eyes while laying on the soft surface of your bed, a cold chill filled the air of the room you were to sleep in. It had been a cold day today, so you didn't think much of it and pulled the covers up. Soon after you fell from the edge of the land we're all used to and into the land of dreams and nightmares, you awoke inside the caboose of an old train. The environment was dark, and when you got up and peered through its old windows, you saw a dead environment. What few trees that could be seen were dead, their leaves withered away, and the grass that we're used to, non-existent. Heavy dark grey fog had filled the environment, leaving you with only 5 meters of vision outside. As you return your gaze to the inside of the caboose, you spot an old table with a piece of parchment that had been written on. You move to the table and grab the parchment. Holding it in front of your eyes, you begin to read what had been written on it. Though the ink and parchment seemed decades old, the words remained clearly readable as if it had been written hours earlier. Ah, so you've, like many before, you have experienced a nightmare and woke up here. You may be trying to awaken yourself to get out of this. You wouldn't be the first, unluckily for you and everyone else who tried that. It won't work. You're forced to play this game of cat and mouse between you and this train's guardians. Well, luckily for you, I'm the one who's been tasked to provide some simple rules and information for this little game, so it remains at least a tiny bit fair. Rule 1. You have a time limit of 15 minutes in each carriage. Refrain from exceeding this time limit, as if you do choose to exceed it, your location will be relayed to any nearby guardians. Rule 2. At any given moment there is at least one guardian nearby. Most of the time this guardian will be the observer. This guardian is exactly as its name suggests. Think of its behavior like a security camera, observing your every action. Rule 3. The fog that you have most certainly seen outside now acts as a life counter. Each meter of visibility acts as an extra life. I recommend you try to not run out of these extra lives, as if you die here, you have a heart attack in the real world. Chances are you won't get medical attention in time. Rule 4. There are 5 guardians who roam this train. The following sub-rules contain information about each of them. Read these carefully, as it can save your life and any extra lives you have. Rule 4a. The observer is the safest guardian of this train, acting more like a security camera than a danger. Most of the time it will only stare at you, observing your every action. However, if you fail one of the tasks in each carriage, it will jump through a window and swiftly detach your head from your body. Rule 4b. The crawler is the slowest guardian of this accursed train, slowly crawling through the carriages. It is blind and will only attack you if you make any sound. If you do make sound, it will start crawling with all its speed, which is the same speed as an average human walking speed, making the crawler the easiest to escape from. Rule 4c. The glider is the only guardian of this train capable of flight. At random points it will speed through a window, attempting to grab you with its claws before flying out a few seconds later. The easiest way to avoid the glider is to avoid the windows at all times. Rule 4d. The taskmaster is present in most carriages, and as its name suggests, it will give you tasks. It won't attack you itself. However, if you fail one of its tasks, the observer will swiftly detach your head from your body. Rule 4e. The hunter is the only guardian on the train capable of performing ranged attacks. It was someone long before you who had the willpower to manage to control this dream enough to get him a shotgun. Sadly, the willpower nor the shotgun were not enough to save him. If he enters the carriage you're in, hide. Unless you want 12-gauge embedded into your head. Rule 5. You have to make it through 15 carriages before you're free. You may notice that on the 15th carriage you may still see more carriages, however the door to them is locked. On the 15th carriage the fog will fade to mist and the warm, welcoming rays of the sun shall reveal themselves. At this point you can finally wake yourself from this nightmare. After reading the parchment you place it back down on the table. Story 2. I am stepping down as a moderator. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. In light of Reddit's recent changes and actions, I can no longer continue to stay on this platform. What made Reddit great was the small communities we could form around shared interests, but their recent actions have shown their desire for profits at the expense of all the users of the site. I first joined r/RulesHorror about 3 years ago when the sub had less than 500 members. This was the first community I ever felt comfortable sharing my writing in. Even though my first stories weren't good, everyone was there to help me improve. Over time, I got better at writing and eventually became a moderator here. Even though I no longer post as often as I used to, I still make time each day to read the stories you all post here, and on r/LogHorror, whenever a post appears there once in a blue moon. It really is incredible how much this community has grown, and how many writers have enjoyed this sub enough to want to post their stories here. I want to thank you all for making this community what it is. I am leaving Reddit entirely, but I am not leaving writing. This community has done more for me than I can put into words. Maybe we will meet again on Tumblr, TikTok, or when your friend hands you a rather suspicious set of rules during a sleepover. Until then, I am stepping down. Thank you for everything. Story 3. When the fog fills the skies. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. Usually in our town, we have the nicest weather imaginable. Usually. Sometimes, things change. It storms a little, rain pours down, and lightning strikes the ground. Of course, it's usually a harmless bump in the road that only changes the scenery a bit. However, it isn't always like that. Rarely, the fog will roll through, and change colors while doing so. It can be black, red, purple, anything you can think of, but when it does, it's never a good sign. The town has documented what each colored fog means, and what to do when the fog rolls through, so I'll give you those rules since you're a new resident. You'll get a general warning of when the fog will roll through, so it's not like you'll be blindsided. Pay attention, or at the very least, keep a copy on you, because you'll need them to make it through. Green fog. A simple one to deal with. From our records, when the fog is green, all plant life seems to gain a mind of its own, with the sole purpose being to harm humans. Grass will entangle you and try to strangle you, while the trees make attempts to crash down on innocent passers-by. The rules for survival are simple. 1. If you're in your house, stay inside. Keep away from any houseplants, and nothing will be able to harm you. The plants only harm what they can see and touch, so if you keep your distance and stay out of sight, you'll be alright. Same goes for if you're in your car. Find a road and stay put till the fog clears. 2. If you're outside, just find a building and follow the rules for when you're in a house. If there's no building in sight, find at least something to stand on that isn't the grass. Roads, parks, anything will do. You don't need to be sheltered, but you cannot stand on the grass. 3. If you're in a forest or an area with lots of plants, try running to a better area the moment the fog rolls in. If you can't, then it's on you for putting yourself so deep in the forest when there's a warning of fog. It's easy to survive this fog. Staying indoors will suffice, and even without a building it's not too dangerous. Just don't be dumb, and you'll be okay. Yellow fog. I remember the yellow fog fairly clearly, though when it started, I couldn't see a thing. It took us a bit to figure out what it was, but the yellow fog turns electronics against us. We had quite a few casualties when it rolled through, specifically because people usually coop up inside their houses when they know that some sort of fog will come around. It's not too hard to stay safe though. 1. Ditch your phone. I gave you a paper copy of the rules instead of a digital one for a reason. Your phone will blow up if you so much as touch it while the yellow fog is going on. Same goes for any other electronic device. Computers will set themselves on fire, TVs will show disturbing videos, and far more. Get away from electronics, because they'll only cause you harm. 2. I'd recommend leaving the house too if I'm being honest. Lights will explode and whatnot, so getting out where there should be no electronics is usually the safest bet. Think of it as the opposite of the green fog. 3. If you want to be as safe as possible, don't try saving your stuff. The fire departments will be out and about, and with their funding, they can usually handle it all. Trying to take care of things yourself gets dangerous, so I'd advise against it. This fog was annoying the last time it happened, mostly because of property damage. We also had loss of life too as a result of our lack of information on it. Now that we know better though, it's far easier to prepare for it. You'll be safe, but don't do anything stupid here. Red fog. The third, and last fog we had categorized. It was the worst one by far, and it wasn't even close. I never got to see what happened because I simply hid inside my basement, but I heard the shrieks of whatever had come with the red fog. When I had gotten an all clear from the town, the most of the neighbors I knew had simply become unrecognizable puddles of red. Be careful. This one is dangerous. 1. When a red fog comes through, turn off all of your lights, board your windows, and make sure the doors are barricaded shut. It won't stop the creature of red from getting in, but it goes after the easiest prey. You don't need to be impossible to get, just harder to find than the guy next to you. 2. Hide. Basements are the best places, but closests or any area far away from doors and windows will work. To be found is to be dead. Nobody knows what the thing even looks like because those who have seen it are no longer with us, and it came far too fast for cameras to be set up. 3. Be quiet. We know that the creature of red has sensitive hearing, because it went after the rowdiest residents first. If it can hear you and track your location, it will gladly break down your doors and go for its prey. 4. Wait. Don't do anything reckless or try killing time by playing Scrabble. This isn't a tornado, but it's far more destructive, and if the fog becomes red, you need to stay put. Wait for a signal from the town that tells you everything will be fine, or you're going to be used to paint your hiding location. I can't call the red fog a simple event like the last two. It was terrifying when I experienced it. All I could do was sit and wait as the shrieks of the monster and the screams of my neighbors filled the air around me. I wanted to cry, but I knew that doing so would only take me to the same place that the rest of the reckless townsfolk had gone. If the fog is red, don't take your chances. Stay where you are, and please, be quiet. Our town is a lovely place. It truly is. I know that the mentions of abnormal weather can be scary, but as long as you follow these rules, nothing bad will happen. Please stay safe, and have a good time in this town that we all live in. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.